Happy Tu Bishvat. Happy birthday, trees. Happy Tu Bishvat. Happy Tu Bishvat. Happy birthday. Happy Tu Bishvat.
Happy Tu Bishvat.
Happy Tu Bishvat.
Happy Tu Bishvat. Happy Tu Bishvat, everyone.
Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat is on its way. Ready? Clap, clap, clap our hands. It's a happy holiday. Stamp, stamp, stamp our feet. Now's the time to sing and play, 'cause Tu Bishvat's our birthday. Whose birthday? The birthday of the trees. Now it's time to plant. Ready? Plant, plant, plant the seed. Plant a seed right in the ground. Rain, rain, rain will fall. Raindrops falling all around. Sun, sun, sun will shine, shining brightly in the sky to help the trees grow up so high, to help them grow so high. Now we're gonna grow. Ready? Grow, grow, start to grow like the trees we see outside. Stretch, stretch, stretch up high, branches reaching very wide. Sway, sway, side to side, leaves are dancing in the breeze to celebrate a birthday, the birthday of the trees. To celebrate a birthday. Whose birthday? The birthday of the trees.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and happy Tu Bishvat. I'm Rabbi Susan Abramson, coming to you this week from my kitchen because we are celebrating a Seder, which means order, and it's a special holiday, Tu Bishvat, which means the 15th day of the month of Shabbat, because according to Jewish tradition, on this day, the trees start blooming again and the buds come out in Israel. And we have pictures here of the almond trees actually blooming outside of Jerusalem that my cousin Ruth Ann took in Jerusalem. So this is the time when we celebrate new beginnings, new life, new potential. And this year, more than any other, we really hope that there are going to be lots of happy new beginnings and lots of potential for growth in many, many ways during the year. And I've got arrayed before me 3 different types of fruit that nuts and fruit that we're going to be eating later in the Seder, as well as drinking 4 cups of wine or grape juice. And I'm so excited that our Aleph class, our kindergartners, first and second graders, as well as some of the older kids in the congregation are going to be conducting the service this evening. This is really the Aleph class Shabbat service, but the older kids have joined us all the way up through our Sefti kids. So it's really going to be a very, very special, happy service. If you are following along with a service pamphlet that hopefully you have online, we are going to continue with Lecha Dodi at the bottom of page 1.
בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד שמו תפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה Hitoruri, Kiva Ore, Kumi, Ori, Uri, Shirda Beri, Kavod Adonai Alai, Nigla, Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela, Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat, Nekabela. Oi B'Shalom, Ateret Ba'ala, Gam B'Simcha, U'Zahola, Toch Emunim, Am Segula, Oi Chala, Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Lecha Dodi, Lekrat Kala, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela.
Every person has a birthday. Every year has a birthday called Rosh Hashanah. Every tree has a birthday too. Today is the birthday for trees. This day is called Tu Bishvat. It is still cold outside, but now, after their winter rest, the trees begin to grow again. They draw water from the ground into their roots. Sap begins to flow into their branches. In a few weeks, we will see their leaves and flowers. In a few months, they will give us their fruit. Today, we celebrate their birthday. Today is the birthday for trees.
Lighting Shabbat candles. We are more than just hands and minds. We are people who need time to walk in the woods and parks, to see the snow on pine branches in the winter, to sit in the shade of maple trees in summer. On Shabbat, we need time to feel the peace in God's world and in ourselves. We light these candles. They are the lights of peace, the lights of Sabbath peace.
Baruch atah
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
asher
Kirishanu
ner shel Shabbat. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen, 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 amen.
At our Tu Bishvat Seder, we have 4 cups of wine, just like we do at a Passover Seder. And to introduce the first cup of wine, I would like to introduce our religious school principal, Ben Einsidler.
We begin our Tu Bishvat Seder, as we begin all holiday celebrations, with the drinking of wine or grape juice to thank God for creating the fruit of the vine. We will drink 4 cups this evening. Each one will be a different color and symbolize the season of the year. Tonight we think of the seasons in Israel, where spring is just about to begin. The first cup is entirely white in honor of winter, when nature is sleeping and sometimes covered with snow. We fill our cups and rise to thank God for the beauty of this season, for giving us life, health, and enabling us to reach this special occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Please rise and embody your spirit for the Baruch Hu at the bottom of page 3.
Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praised be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Vaed.
It gave God great joy to create the beautiful world. God created the sky and the earth and oceans and rivers. The ground was ready for trees, flowers, and grass, so God made them next. There were red roses and yellow daffodils. God made the tall trees and many different kinds of fruit and vegetables. There were juicy grapes, sweet purple plums, oranges, apples, and more. Just think of how many wonderful tastes and colors there are in this world.
Ahavat Olam, page 150. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amhavita, Amhavita, Torah u'mitzvot, Ukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Otanu limadeta. Alkein Adonai Eloheinu b'shvach beinu, v'kumenu na'asiyach b'chukeha, v'nismach b'divrei Torateha, v'mitzvoteha le'olam va'ed, ki hem ha'enu, v'horech yameinu, Ubahem negeyom ampalayla, negeyom ampalayla. V'yahavat al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Trees can live a very long time. Some trees live for hundreds or thousands of years. The Torah is like a tree because it lives for a very long time. Trees give us shade to sit in and fruit to eat. The Torah helps us live a good life. It helps nourish our people. The Torah tells us about the history of our Jewish family and the land of Israel, where our people lived in ancient times and which Jews have rebuilt today. That is why the Torah is called the Tree of Life.
Now continue with our most important of all prayers, the Shema, saying that God is one and God's name is one, at the top of page 5.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Mahuto L'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue on page 5.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anuhi mitzavcha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha, b'vetecha, u'v'lechtecha, v'derech, u'v'shachbacha, u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam, la'ot, al yedecha v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha u'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. Lema'an tizkaru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hiyitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem ma'eretz Mitzrayim la'ot lechem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children, recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorsteps of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments, and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.
We now continue by asking 4 questions which are special for Tu Bishvat, reminiscent of the 4 types of questions we ask at the Passover Seder.
Today we ask 4 questions. Why is this night different from all other nights?
On all other nights we eat many kinds of food. Why on this night do we eat fruit and other foods which remind us of Israel?
On all other nights we take trees for granted. Why on this night do we have a holiday just for them?
On all other nights, we enjoy fruit for its taste and texture and because it keeps us healthy. Why on this night do we divide fruit into special categories with special meanings?
On all other nights in this season, we look outside and see barren, lifeless trees. Why on this night do we celebrate the budding of the fruit trees?
Because on this night, our hearts are turned to the land of Israel. We share with them the hope for the future of God's world. Now is the time we cherish things that grow so we can help save nature. Tonight we learn important lessons nature can teach us about ourselves. Tonight is the beginning of spring in Israel and not too far in the future for us.
We now continue with the singing of Mi Chamocha, the song the Israelites sang when they crossed the Red Sea to freedom from Pharaoh's grip, on the bottom of page 6.
Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nedar Ba'kodesh, Nora Tehilot Osefele, Malchuthecha Ra'ovanecha, Bokea Yam Lifnei Moshe Umiriam, Ze'eli Anu V'amru, Adonai Yimlo Kleolam Va'ed, V'ne'emar Ki Feda, Adonai et Yaakov, Ug Alo, Miad, Tazak, Mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot Osefele, Nora tehilot Osefele, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei yam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, Ze'eli anu v'yamru, Ze'eli anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed.
Page 408, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu, leShalom, v'chamidenu shomrenu leChayim. Ufrosh aleinu, Tukat, Shlomecha, v'chakonenu, be'etza, tova, milfanechach, v'choshienu, lema'an, shemechach, v'chagein, va'adenu, v'chaser me'alenu, oyev, dever, v'cherev, v'ra'av, v'yagon, v'cherechek, mimenu, avon, v'fesha, uvsel, kanafechach, tami, tirenu, ki, el, shomrenu, tilenu, ata, ki, el, chanun, virachum, ata, ushmor, tseitenu, uvoenu, lechayim, ul shalom, me'ata, va'ad, olam, baruch ata Adonai, haporesh tzukat, shalom, Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and raise us up, our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard over our coming and going to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh tzukat, shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat idrotam b'ri olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael ot hi le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i shavat ve'inafash. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day God ceased from his work and was refreshed.
We now continue with the second cup of wine, which is white wine with a little bit of purple mixed in, symbolic of spring.
In the spring, the earth gets warmer, the days get longer. Sun and rain nourish new life all around us. Buds appear on the trees, plants shoot up from the ground. Hope is in the air. Pink wine reminds us that pink flowers now appear in the land of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, borei peri hagafen. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Please rise if you are able for the tefillah, the next section of our service, which you may find on page 8 of your pamphlets.
Anananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Ananananana Adonai, Ananananana Svatai Tivta, Ananananana Ufi
This is the vote on page 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanara El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol v'Zocher Chasadei Avot v'Imahot Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshiach Umagin Baruch atah Adonai Magin Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Atagi Bor Leon Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Tarav L'Hoshia Mechokeo Chaim B'Chesed Mechayeh HaKol V'Rachamim Ravim Somech Novim V'Rofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umechayim Emunato Lishay Nei Afar Mechamocha Ba'al Gevaro Uni Do Melach Melech Mimi Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua Pana'em Manatawa HaChayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh HaKol.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Page 10. We thank you, God, for rain and forests, for land and stream. We thank you, God, for the land of Israel and the 7 species that God gave us there.
Try to be more like a tree. It knows just when to bend. It knows when to take a stand, helping a stranger, helping a friend.
It gives shelter to those in need by standing straight and tall.
Reach out a hand and help someone before they fall.
Please be seated. We now continue with Shalom Rav, a song for peace, on page 10.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarich et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
And this evening our hearts are still turned towards Colleyville, Texas, after what happened there last weekend. And I just wanted to read a little excerpt of a prayer in our Tu Bishvat Seder, which really reminds me of the strength and resilience that we need to have as a people. Israel is like a sycamore tree. Even after it is chopped down and its stump is covered with sand for a long time, the sycamore will begin to grow again. So too, the Jewish people has been hurt many times, but each time we begin to grow again. We'll continue to face adversity as time goes on, as we have in times past, but it's all of our fervent hope that we will be able to overcome those who try to harm us, and we will stand fast as Jews and persevere into the future and do whatever we can to bring goodness and kindness into the world. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal us all. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for our health to be restored and our strength to be revived. May God swiftly send us all a complete renewal of body and of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
mishebayrach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. mishebayrach imotenu mekor habracha la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Pause for a moment of silent prayer. Now we continue with the singing of Oseh Shalom, another song for peace, on page 11.
Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
So now we're going to continue by eating 3 types of fruit, which are very symbolic on this holy day. As I said, traditionally, you eat the 7 of the 7 fruits which were in the Torah, which were specifically from the land of Israel. But there are 3 categories, and you may follow along on page 11 of your pamphlets. The first kind of fruit has a shell which cannot be eaten. The shell protects the fruit inside, just as a parent protects a child. We think about the shells we create to separate ourselves from our family, our friends, strangers, and the world around us. What do we need to peel away so the sweetness inside of us can be enjoyed by others? As we eat this fruit, we think about a way we present ourselves to the world, which we would like to remove. we consider how delicious we would be without it. And so I've got an orange here, I've got a banana which we can eat, and I have different types of nuts, all with shells. So go ahead and peel whatever you've got, the nuts or any type of fruit with a shell or something around it. So let's say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. You may enjoy the first type of fruit with shells. Now we continue with the second type of fruit with pits. And this second type of fruit is considered a higher form from the first. The outer part, which is edible, represents holiness. The pit reminds us of the imperfections within us, which have penetrated the goodness we bring to the world. But the pit is also a seed with the potential to help us grow into something better. As we enjoy the second type of fruit, we focus on all the goodness and sweetness within us. We recognize a bad trait or negative feeling we harbor in our hearts. We consider how we can transform it into an attribute. And so we've got the second type of fruit with pits. We've got apples here. We've got apricots here. There are lots of other types of fruits you may have at home that I don't have here. So let's say the blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. Blessed are you, O eternal our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the tree. B'tei avon, enjoy. And now we continue with the entirely edible fruit, the third type. This highest form of fruit reminds us of Torah, which can be devoured completely. It teaches us that we have the potential to be fully sweet, good, tasteful, and a treat to be with. We can be that right now. Picture your ideal self and be that as you eat this fruit. And so this is the fruit that you can eat all of. The only thing I have here are raisins, but any other type of fruit you have that you can eat completely, blueberries, whatever, go ahead and enjoy. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz. Amen. And now we're going to continue with the third cup of wine. And this cup of wine represents the summer. So we're going to just pour a little bit more purple grape juice in there, or wine, to show that it's further during the year than it is the spring, but it's not quite the fall. So here we go with our third cup of wine.
Red wine reminds us of the summer, when the sun shines brightest and we feel the full warmth of its potential. Fruit ripens. Strawberries, oranges, melons, apricots, and nuts are picked. The air is fragrant with their smells. Flower petals cover the ground like a blanket. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz.
Please enjoy your third cup of wine.
Tu Bishvat is the new year of the trees. It's one of my favorite holidays because it reminds us that the winter, although it may not always feel like it, is eventually going to come to an end and will emerge into a beautiful spring filled with beautiful trees and our wonderful spring holidays. We're so proud of all of our Aleph students who work so hard learning about Tu Bishvat and learning their Tu Bishvat songs. Please enjoy tonight's Tu Bishvat presentation brought to us by our wonderful Aleph students.
And it is now my pleasure to introduce our Aleph class again with their wonderful teacher, Karen Eichenbaum. And they're going to talk about the mitzvah tree that the class has been working on all year long, and the significance of that, and the wonderful activity box which the class has just purchased for a 3-year-old girl who's going into foster care. And then following that, they're going to sing a song about Tu Bishvat. So take it away.
Hello everyone, this is the Aleph class coming straight from Temple Shalom Emeth, and we've been very busy this year. This is our class project, it's our mitzvah tree, and we've been studying the Aleph Bet, Jewish values, which consist of, what have we been doing this year? Have we been caring and sharing and celebrating Shabbat and being good to our families and helping out at home? Well, each of these leaves represent a caught in the act good deed done by each of the students. And it's what they tell me that they've done at home, and the parents have sent them in to me via email, and I just write up a little leaf for them. The flowers, we have a little family, what do we have down here? A family table garden. And each flower represents a box of cereal donated to Family Table by this class. Can you believe that? Look at all the flowers, and there are only 4 students. Isn't that amazing? And we have one other project that we've been working on, and that is our tzedakah. And each week, students bring in tzedakah money. And I asked them what they wanted to do with their money, and what did they say?
Give them to people, buy something for the people that don't have enough toys.
Okay, and we actually got a call from the group called Help Is. And there's a 3-year-old little girl who doesn't have any activities. She doesn't have any crayons or markers. No, she doesn't have anything. So
she has 0 things.
Right, so Ben is going to bring us our box, and we're going to show everyone what we bought for this little girl with our tzedakah money. So we have in here, it's our little storage box for her. We have crayons and markers and coloring. A cell phone. And some little ponies.
Even donut. I wish I had a pony.
And we have flashcards. So this little girl is going to be busy just because of the goodness of the hearts of this class.
I wish I had the blue pony.
You do? Well,
I wish I had the pink pony.
I know, but guess what? It was your idea, all of you, to get this for this one little girl. Isn't that awesome? Okay. Bye, everyone.
Let's go today. It's a holiday. Let's go plant the tree and sing a happy song. Today is Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat. Let's sing a happy song. Today is Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat. Let's go plant and sing a song.
I'd like to extend a hearty mazel tov to not only our Aleph students, but also our wonderful Aleph teacher, Karen Eichenbaum, who has done such good work shepherding our students through the last several months. Karen and the Aleph students have done wonderful work learning Hebrew, learning different prayers, and learning about different holidays. It's been a privilege to see them every week, and I so look forward to seeing everybody in person again soon when it's safe to do so. Shabbat Shalom.
We now continue with the Aleinu on page 13. Please rise in body or spirit.
Aleinu lishabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula liyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'goralenu kichol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
The introduction to the Kaddish prayer may be found at the top of page 14 of your pamphlets. Early or late, all must answer the summons to return to the reservoir of being. For we lose our hold on life when our time has come, as the leaf falls from the tree when its day is done. The deeds of the righteous enrich the world, as the fallen leaf enriches the soil beneath. The dust returns to the earth, the spirit lives on with God. Like the stars by day, our beloved departed are not seen by mortal eyes. yet they shine on forever. Theirs is eternal peace. Let us be thankful for the companionship that continues in a love stronger than death. Sanctifying the name of God, we do honor to their memory. We now think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. We recall Stephen Sadowski and David Schwartz, who died during this past month. We add to their names the names of those whose yahrzeits or anniversary of whose deaths occur this week. Edward Benedict, Francis Cohen, Philip Finkel, Johanna Gitlin, Samuel Hassenbold, Vera Herman, Sophia Levitt, Martha Ross, Sylvia Weiner. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be for a blessing as we rise in body or in spirit to recite the Kaddish prayer. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'yizman kariv v'imru amin. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach l'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran b'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol toshvei tevel, v'imru amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens cause peace to descend upon us, on all Israel, on our country, and all the world, as we say together, Amen. You may be seated. And now we're going to conclude our service with the fourth cup of wine. And this cup of wine is purely purple for the fall, the fourth season. And now we're going to hear more about that.
Fall arrives, we look back over the year and over our world and realize how much we have to be grateful for. We consider our many blessings, our triumphs, our failures, how far we still have left to go. The darkest purple wine reminds us of our blessings and also of our responsibility to continue to be God's partners in the work of creation. Ecclesiastes Rabbah tells us that God led Adam around the Garden of Eden, saying, "Look at my works, how beautiful and excellent they are. See that you do not spoil or destroy my world, for if you do, there will be no one to repair it after you."
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Boresh Barith Hadafen. Amen.
Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. L'chaim. And before we conclude our service, we're going to do the motzi.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
So I'd just like to thank everybody so much for this beautiful, happy, joyous Tu Bishvat Seder celebration. I'd like to thank all the Aleph kids who did a wonderful, wonderful job of helping to lead the service and their beautiful singing and talking about the trees. I'd like to thank the parents who participated in the readings. I'd like to thank the other religious school kids who helped participate, along with my confirmation class, our SEFTA youth group kids. It was just a really, really wonderful experience, and special thank you to our Cantorial Soloist Ben Silver and our religious school director Ben Einsidler. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, and we conclude our service with another special song by Ben Silver, which will include footage from last year's Tu Bishvat Seder. You can see how much the kids have grown since then. So Shabbat Shalom.
Let's go plant today. It's a holiday. Let's go plant a tree and sing a happy song. Today is Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat. Let's sing a happy song. Today is Tu Bishvat. Tu Bishvat. Let's go plant and sing a song. Tu Bishvat is on its way. Clap, clap, clap our hands. It's a happy holiday. Stamp, stamp, stamp our feet. Now's the time to sing and play. Tu Bishvat's a birthday, the birthday of the trees. Plant a seed right in the ground. Rain, rain, rain will fall, raindrops falling all around. Sun will shine, shining brightly in the sky. Help the trees grow up so high, help them grow so high. Grow, start to grow, like the trees we see outside. Stretch up high, branches reaching very wide. Sway, side to side, leaves are dancing in the breeze. Celebrate a birthday of the trees. To celebrate the birthday of the trees.